Scientists from the world-renowned University of Chicago have developed a new algorithm that forecasts crime a week in advance. The algorithm analyzes publicly available data on violent and property crimes and identifies patterns in time and geographic locations. The most interesting part is that the model can predict future crimes 1 week in advance with about 90% accuracy. In other words, if the algorithm says that a crime is going to occur at the intersection of West Jackson and South Hamlin Boulevard, then there is a 9 out of 10 chance that it will occur at that location around that time of the week. Isn't that mind-boggling? Sure, but not everyone agrees. Protesters have filed lawsuits in the past to stop predictive policing because, according to them, it interferes with basic human rights. However, multiple police departments disagree. They say that if police patrolling is increased in high-risk neighborhoods, then it can deter people from resorting to criminal activities. As long as this is done without calling or monitoring ex-convicts or suspected individuals, nobody really gets hurt in the process. The idea here is not to monitor or arrest people based on factors such as race, skin color, or socioeconomic background, but to provide a valuable tool and policing plan that can prevent such arrests through deterrence. Experts believe that artificial intelligence-based tools could be used to prevent crime through deterrence in underprivileged as well as wealthy neighborhoods. On a related note, did you know that mass shooters have a tendency to share their plans over the internet in advance? On Facebook, for instance? Criminology research shows that nearly 65 to 94% of mass attackers engage in some form of threatening or concerning communications prior to the deadly incident. Moreover, at least 1/4 are motivated by ideologies such as white supremacy, misogyny, and xenophobia. Scientific research suggests that people who recognize concerning social behaviors create opportunities for timely and meaningful intervention that can prevent such disasters from happening. Speaking of prediction, Canadian researchers are using artificial intelligence to predict the next generation of designer drugs long before they hit the market. This reminds me of the 2002 sci-fi movie, Minority Report, in which advanced knowledge about criminal activities helps reduce crime in a future world. However, a book recently published by Ronald Kramer and James C. Olson strongly criticizes the use of modern technology in crime prevention. For instance, the book authors argue that whereas CCTV cameras are used to deter people, hardened criminals who want to commit crimes will commit it anyway, regardless of whether the CCTV is in place or not. On the other hand, the slightly shrewder criminals will find ways of evading detection, for instance, by wearing dark sunglasses or a large hat that shields their identity from camera-based surveillance. Although this is a valid point, common sense tells us that we still need CCTV cameras to enhance security, and that's definitely a no-brainer. According to a research study published in the Quarterly Journal of Economics, removing cash welfare from children when they reach age 18 greatly increases their odds of getting involved in crime-related activities in subsequent years. In the United States, children qualify for the cash welfare program based on their disability status or based on their parents' low income and assets. Until 1996, children used to automatically qualify for the adult program at age 18, unless of course their incomes increased. However, after several changes were made to the U.S. social welfare programs in 1996, the U.S. Social Security Administration began declining welfare benefits to nearly 40% of children when they turned 18. According to experts, this process has disproportionately removed children with mental and behavioral conditions, such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. The same kids end up resorting to crime to generate revenue, according to the research report. Now, here's something super interesting. Communities with more religious congregations have fewer mass public shootings, according to a study published by State University of New York researchers. Also, compared to undocumented immigrants, U.S. citizens are more likely to be arrested for violent felonies, felony drug crimes, and felony property crimes, according to a study published by University of Wisconsin-Madison researchers. Coming back to the original topic of crime prediction, Did you know that the M-score, devised by an Indiana University researcher in the late 90s, can predict corporate fraud with high accuracy? The M-score is based on the Benesch model, a statistical model that uses financial ratios derived from accounting data to check if a particular business is likely to commit financial fraud. For instance, the M-score was able to successfully red flag Kanmei Pharmaceutical, a Chinese publicly traded company involved in financial reporting fraud. Meanwhile, there's a scientific report out there clearly demonstrating that risk-tolerant, impatient, and self-centered people are more likely to commit crimes as compared to people who are altruistic, risk-averse, and patient in general. By the way, did you also know that most serial killers report experiencing trauma during their childhood? And that's exactly why we need to provide a safe and nourishing environment to our children. We need to teach them how to express themselves, what to avoid, how to deal with dangerous or stressful situations, and finally, how to remain happy. Speaking of serial killers, did you know that serial killers sometimes include even technically skilled professionals, such as physicians? In the year 2000, Dr. Michael Swango, a former physician, was sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms without parole for the first-degree murder of 60 people that included co-workers and patients. A quick review of Michael Swango's childhood days shows that he had presumably suffered from mental trauma after his parents got divorced. Serial killers are generally men, but there has been one notable exception so far. Known by the name Black Widow, or Mrs. Poison, this Romanian lady serial killer was responsible for murdering nearly 35 men using slow poisoning. Besides childhood trauma and psychological disorders, there's one more reason why serial killers thrive. They enjoy the media attention that they get. The most notable example to cite would be that of the serial killer Zodiac. The Zodiac killer used to regularly send letters to a local newspaper. He even challenged the police department to arrest him. Although his ciphers, containing encrypted messages, have been decoded by folks recently, nobody has been able to find out the exact identity of the Zodiac killer thus far. The Zodiac killer murdered 5 known victims in the San Francisco Bay Area between December 1968 and October 1969. He operated in rural, urban, and suburban settings. He targeted young couples and a lone male cab driver. His known attacks took place in Benicia, Vallejo, unincorporated Napa County, and the city of San Francisco proper. 2 of his attempted victims survived. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe for more such videos. What would you like to see next? Please let us know. Take care guys, and I will see you soon.